Hi everyone, this is Jay Harris coming to you from Tom's Trading Room. This video is going to be a little bit more lengthy than normal. I'm going to deal with and discuss with you how to more thoroughly update a trade plan, keep notes of a trade plan from start to finish utilizing the tools. Let's go to Trades, Portfolio, and then click on Performance. Now if you have trades saved in a folder and you click that process that I just showed you, Trades, Portfolio, and then Performance, you'll get to this screen here. In the drop down folder for the trades, you can pick whichever folder you'd like to do this analysis on. And I'm going to leave it on the 2015 publication case studies. I'm not going to run a calculation. The point of this video isn't showing you how to do that. This is how to, again, document and put information into your tools for each trade, each case study trade, whether it be virtual or real. You'll see a number of trades down here already that are in the folder. On the status column, you'll see a capital T and a lowercase n. For the most part, folks, if you're not putting notations into your tools already under your trade plan capabilities, you will not see capital T's as a status. You'll only see the lowercase n. That lowercase n signifies that there is no current trade plan documentation. Now you can have a trade plan for just the opening of the position, and then when you close it, go ahead and make the updates to your trade plan for everything from start to finish. But when you have the capital T, that means you have a trade plan with notations to some degree, whether it's just an opening of the position right now or it's full and complete when you've taken it from open to close. What we want to do from here in order to get to the trade plan is go in and do a trade or do a case study. Now, you know the newsletter, the weekly publication that Tom puts out, are case studies. Whether you do these for real or not, that's your call. We're not your brokers, we're not advisors, we can't recommend. So there's the disclaimer. I've got the backtest date set to March 6th because back on the newsletter on March 6th, we highlighted a case study for Bed Bath & Beyond, BBBY. So I've got it to March 6th because basically I deleted the trade out of the folder so I can do this from start to finish with you guys for this video. So here we are on March 6th. We're going to type in BBBY, click on Update, and when it refreshes, we're going to choose the options expiration month that we want. Now we did this case study with an expiration for April week 1. So let's unclick the check marks out of the boxes we don't want. We put the check mark in the one we want, which is the April 15th week 1 option, and we're going to click on Update. The case study was highlighted as the April 15 week 1 $70 call. So let's get down to that option here and put a 1 in the box. Go back up to our risk graph plus and bring up that risk graph view. Now our stop, and you can go back to the archives on the weekly newsletters to see the full documentation as to why this one was highlighted and why the stops and the targets were assessed at that time. But we had a stop at 71 and a target for 78.18. So let's go ahead, as we would normally do, take the case study and say there's our stock limit, our stop loss anyhow. The upper target is 78.18. That's on our risk graph. So let's update the risk graph here. And when it repopulates, we'll take a look at the zoomed in view of the risk graph. And you'll see that we can assess our stops on a dollar basis and our target on a dollar basis now that we've zoomed in on the risk graph. This isn't exactly the point of the video, but I figured I might as well show you this as we're building this, and this could be educational for you as well. So right now we have a zoomed in risk graph. We have down below no information in the edit your trade comments. You'll oftentimes see in the weekly publication underneath all of the whys we're looking at this trade case study, the risk graphs, we show you the trade plans in the comments field. So what we want to do right now is type in the reason for this candidate. It's an MC buy or money calendar buy. The technical stop loss on the stock was 71 and the target for the stock was 78.18. Now as for the position size, again, we're not your brokerage. You can put that in there for your records. We won't show you that because again, we're not recommending and we're not going to try to influence how big or small your position size should be. As for the stop loss, if you'll notice up here that the max stop that we could take at expiration is about $320. If you go ahead and leave it as a 100% stop loss, that's the full 420. But there we've got a stop loss of about $320. So let's go ahead and put that there as a minus 320. And as for our target, if it hits that price to the upside, 78.18 on the stock, what does that equate to into profitability for the option? It shows the valuation, even at the worst case scenario at expiration, if it hits that 78.18, to be about $400. So let's go ahead and put in for our profit target plus 400. Now you can click save right here, and you're going to save that trade in whatever folder you have it listed for. In this case, we have the 2015 pub case studies. So make sure you have the proper folder highlighted and then click on save. Now if all you have is your commentary window filled in with the information, that may be sufficient, but there is more that you can do with the tools and a more thorough and detailed trade plan management capability that you have with it. So now that you have everything there in your notes and commentary field, I'm going to now click on this section right here where it says create a trade plan. Before I do that, and what you guys want to do is either write all of this information down on a notepad off to the side, or what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to highlight all of that, click and drag, right click, and then select copy. And then when I click on the trade plan and I get into this section here, which is the trade plan page, I can scroll down here and I'll start going through a few of the more detailed functions that are available here for you. I'm going to put in here my entry rationale and trade comments. I'm going to right click, left click paste. I'm going to take the position size, highlight that and delete it out. So I have my entry rationale. I'm going to leave it the money calendar buy. I'm going to cut all of this information out on that window or that box, leave the entry rationale there, and then paste the remaining information here in the money stops, technical stops, market and sector stops, etc. Now if you have some fundamental stops or some personal stops, a time stop could be as simple as expiration. Okay, so everything's there by way of the notes, the rationale, and the stops, the management. Now some other things that you'll want to do, and there's more that you can do. Read up on the help page all these different functions that you can start highlighting for the technical criteria that you used. I'm going to keep it simple, folks, and show you right here the trade type. We highlighted this case study as a simple buy calls or a long call position. So highlight that. The date, planned start date, is already here, 3/6, and as for the trade status, we can leave it as open. Right? We haven't closed the trade, and we're monitoring it until it either hits our stop, our target, or somewhere in between. So we'll leave that as open for right now. Once you've done that, go ahead and click to save this trade plan. So now you have your saved trades. You can look at your comment field, but if you want to go to the actual trade plan itself, you click on the trade plan functions to do so. Let's go back to now trades, portfolio, performance, and when you bring up the list now of all the trades in that particular folder, you'll notice that BBBY is now in there and it has a capital T. That means there is a trade plan. Now it doesn't mean that it's a closed trade plan, it just means that there's an open position that you're monitoring in this folder. So you can leave it like that and you're set to go. Everything is done, and I've given you the education you need to get this done. When it comes to actually closing a trade, when that actually happens, and let's go to the April 2nd pricing, click on the calendar, change it to April 2nd, and then click go, or it will update automatically to April 2nd, and you see everything here on the list recalculates for that date. But let's go back to the trades now. Let's go to saved trades, click on saved trades, and here we are with the 2015 pub case studies. We're going to find the BBBY, click on that, check a trade for trade tools, and click on your risk graph. It's going to populate the screen for the pricing, and if it's past that date, you'll probably be looking at the pricing for the close of market that day, which was 670 to 690. I think we documented it, and you can go back and check the records at like 693. Maybe that's what it was on an intraday basis, and that's why it was entered in at 693. But since it's consistent with what I think we posted before, I'll just type it in there under the entry price, which means the closing price, because that's what we're doing, is closing is 693. Okay, but let's go 693 and then let's click on this blue close button. So we have one contract, you know, for the April 15 week $170 calls. We're putting the entry price in there at 693. Let's click close. We may have to enter that price again. Yeah, we do. So here we have the closing legs. Under the number, choose the one. The price goes 6.93 or whatever it is when you're closing your trades going forward. You have all your information still listed here under your edit your trade comments, and then go ahead and click close or click update. Either way will work. Okay, so now it says all your legs are closed. Let's go back into the trade plan now. So let's go to trades, save to trades, click on save to trades yet again, and let's bring up the BBBY and see what we got. As it's loading, we're going to now focus on just documenting under the trade plan, which you see down below here now. Oh, there's your trade plan underneath all the risk graphs and such. Where you're at currently. So let's go ahead and click edit the trade plan so we can put in our final notations. So we've clicked edit. It brings up the screen. We can now change the status to closed, and it will be for closed on, you know, April 2nd there. And you can leave all the information here, the max profit from the risk graph showing you how much was made on the trade, all the other documentation about price flow alerts and more technical stuff you can choose from. I don't get involved with all of this. I'm keeping it really simple right now. Just go ahead and document that it's now a closed position, and double check all your information down here. If you want to make notes down here, you can, about it being closed. One last thing to show you on this page, the trade plan results, where it says none selected, you can now click on that window and choose from the following information as to did you follow the plan or not? Did you follow the plan? Were you profitable or not? And what happens if you didn't follow the plan? In this case, we followed the plan and we're profitable. So we'll left click that. It populates in that window. And now what you want to do is just go up to plan actions and click update. Everything is done now from here on out with this BBBY case study. So if you want to just confirm that, again, nothing's changed. Portfolio performance, click on performance. When you get to this, you're going to see BBBY in there. Now when we had the opening information in there, we had the capital T. Nothing changes, even though we've put some information to complete the tracking and the trade management where we've closed the position in the tools. It doesn't do anything here. It keeps it that capital T. So what you can do now, folks, is start going back to all of these trades that you have the N and start building the trade plan. Go into the saved trade. Here's AXP. It doesn't have a trade plan on it. And then from here, just start doing your trade plan. What was the trade type? What date was it? Make sure you set the date back for whatever date that trade plan was opened or presented as a case study. Put your information in here, save it, follow it, and then when you actually close it, or we document that we're no longer tracking the trade case study because it's closed, whether at a profit or a loss, you can go ahead and continue to update your trade plan information with the tools here. Be more thorough with your record keeping, and then when you go back and do some analysis and see which trades are working, which trades aren't, you can document and know based on what set of criteria the trades were entered. You can document if you're following your trade plan or not. You know, if you stopped out too soon because you got a little bit scared, maybe the position was down about 30-40% and you wanted to just cut your losses and you closed the trade, but then you find out that, you know, if you'd have just let it go, the trade did hit its target. You know, you can start finding that information out, start tweaking yourself and knowing, you know, what you're doing right, where your emotions are getting the better of you, and then be more systematic in your process. There you go, folks. A little bit more extensive information as to how to be more thorough with your trade plan documentations and your trade management. I hope you enjoyed that. We will see you on future videos. Bye now.